The next dish that's going to be prepared for us by the mayor of Speculator is called pork Adirondack, and it's on the regular menu.
That is on the regular menu at the inn at Speculator. That's correct.
Okay, great.
We're going to start this one off with a little olive oil,
Okay.
extra virgin. Getting our pan hot. We've marinated this. This is a pork tenderloin. You can buy them in the store. They're about a pound. And cut them between 1 and 2 ounces.
Okay.
Give them a little pounding, and then we marinate this for about 4 hours in our apple maple vinaigrette.
Okay.
So this will serve 4, a full tenderloin will.
Okay. So you're doing about a 4-ounce portion per person.
This would be 1 portion, right?
Great.
I marinated the entire tenderloin, but
those marinades make it so easy. You don't have to mix a lot of ingredients.
right. Yeah. You know, getting work out ahead of things, and it obviously any sort of vinaigrette or acidified food helps break the meat down. Pork tenderloin is fairly tender to begin with.
Oh, sure.
But this gives a...
And your seasoned flour, just in case people haven't done that, what do you put in it?
Just salt and pepper.
Okay.
Just a little salt and pepper.
And some flour, mix it up. Okay.
Get this a
I
little
love
hotter.
pork dishes. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is really a staple. I mean, we do a couple of different things, but of course the apple maple vinaigrette is a salad dressing in the restaurant, but quite frankly, we probably use it as much as a dipping sauce and a marinade as we do the dressing.
Oh, interesting.
Sweet dressing, the line of dressings go from rather sweet, local maple and apple, to very tart, cucumber leek, the wild berry we did the duck with earlier.
And I find, too, that pork tenderloin dishes are great things to make on a work night, you know, a weeknight, when people are busy, because it cooks so quickly.
Fast, right.
Right.
Right. In a larger pan, you feed 2, 4 people, no problem. And again, it's the one tenderloin, not very expensive.
And no waste on it.
No waste.
Right.
You take maybe a little bit of the silver skin off,
Right.
Just a tiny bit. A couple of minutes on each side. We're going to remove this for a second while we then deglaze the pan with some apple brandy, fresh apples. One of the things that we use in the restaurant is apple concentrate, and there's a commercial product, but this is just as good.
Okay, so
we get this right from the store, the kind of thing that you'd buy in the store to make a gallon
of juice.
apple juice for the kids at home. A little bit of this and a little bit of our own local maple syrup.
Now, let me ask you, does that need to be thawed to use, or could they put it in
You could just spoon it. Yeah, most of the time they're never a consistency where they couldn't just take a tablespoon out.
Right.
And you can put it right in the fridge, and it'll hold in the fridge just like that.
Okay. Yeah, the high sugar content will keep it from freezing solid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So at this point, are you cooking that all the way through?
Not quite. Not
Okay.
quite. We're going to go about 3/4. We're going to take this off to a warm plate.
Okay.
At this point, we're going to throw in some Granny Smith apples.
Ooh. I love all that. Well, of course, apples and pork are such a natural mix.
Local maple syrup.
Okay. Was that about 2 tablespoons, maybe?
Yeah, a
Okay.
couple of ounces. A couple of ounces of the...
That's really good.
No, I purposely didn't. In the restaurant, we would put this in first, but I didn't want to light you up too much. Laird's Applejack, always a winner. Just going to let that reduce.
Gosh, I wish you could smell that. It's wonderful. Oh, wow.
Give you too much brandy. It's early in the day for you,
Right.
Sally.
Make sure you cook off the alcohol. I want to be able to finish the show.
So we'll let those reduce a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to put a little fresh sage in.
Oh, nice.
Again, something you can usually get
I
in the
think
local store.
and fresh sage is something a lot of people don't use. They use the dried stuff. It's so different.
And I understand why folks use the dry at home for some things, the ones that are a little hard to get.
Right.
But now, many of these are available year-round.
Oh, yeah.
And not that expensive.
And you can buy them in relatively small amounts, too.
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, we're going to
So the pork goes back in.
add our pork back in.
Okay. So this is the point at which you're going to cook it all the way through.
Correct.
Okay. And is that it?
Well, we're just going to finish it with a pat of butter in maybe a minute or 2.
There's nothing that isn't better with a piece of butter in it.
Better with butter. If you find that this is a little bit shy, or you need to stretch the sauce for any reason, a little chicken stock,
Okay.
rather than continuing to add the brandy.
I don't know. I might do the brandy. And I don't know if you noticed, but when he wanted to flame that the Applejack, you tip the pan and
I tip it away from me.
Right.
Again, in the restaurant, we're using usually much larger pans, but
right.
we'll use a good. Now, this is another tip. You don't have to use Applejack, which is an apple-flavored brandy.
Mm-hmm.
You can use generic brandy that you might find at probably half the price of this because you're using the apple concentrate.
That's a good tip.
Many places, sort of a behind-the-scene tip when you hear it, use Armagnac or apple brandy.
Right.
They're actually using just a regular brandy and a little bit of apple reduction.
That's a good trick.
Okay,
and I
at
see
this
the
point,
sauce is thickening nicely. That's probably
thickening
from the
nicely.
Flour on
Right,
the,
exactly. You dredged, and that's your main only real thickening agent here.
Okay.
And then a couple of ounces of butter.
And what do you serve that with at the restaurant?
Usually scalloped potatoes, but you can do.
Ooh, you make scalloped potatoes
Oh,
there?
sure, absolutely. Yeah, you can do almost anything, obviously,
Okay.
to your liking. This has got all the food groups, so.
Yeah, number one, the alcohol, right?
Number one, alcohol. And as you see, the butter's starting to tighten it.
Ah, looks beautiful.
And that is, of course, that combination
This
of.
would be so easy to make. The only really work in it is to pound the pork, which takes 2 seconds,
Right.
and cut the apples.
Right. Again, buying a 1-pounder gives you a family of 4. I cut between 1 and 2 ounces a medallion each. So you're getting 12 medallions out of there.
Great.
A quick pound, not too much. We're almost
And
done.
one thing we should probably mention to people too is once you use the dressing to marinate, unless you're going to cook the leftover marinade, you throw it out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when you're marinating meats, particularly the poultries, you see that a lot. Folks will use the reserve marinade. If they use it to go back in the pan, that's fine.
Right.
But not again, it's no longer a salad dressing or something you
Right.
can use as a drizzle.
So it's got raw meat juices in there.
Exactly.
It needs to be cooked.